We kick things off with a strange event captured inside a building, recorded entirely by the property's own CCTV system. At first glance, the footage looks completely unremarkable, just a normal interior scene. But moments later, a small figure resembling a child materializes and walks straight through a solid glass door as if it simply isn't there. The left side of that door appears almost invisible at first, but what comes next is where things get truly unsettling. Brace yourself for this. You can watch the eerie little figure phase right through the glass without any resistance, clear as day. Then, in an instant, it vanishes without a trace. And if that weren't enough, one of the nearby staircases begins moving on its own the moment the child disappears. There's no denying how deeply strange and disquieting this footage is. Whether it's a genuine paranormal capture or the work of some clever video editing is still up for debate, but we'd love to hear where you stand on it. Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Amanda is a self-described medium who has built a reputation around communicating with those who have passed on. She's been at this long enough to consider it a genuine gift, and because of that, she sometimes finds herself reacting to things, or people, that nobody else in the room can see. During one particular livestream she was hosting alongside two friends, something in the corner of the room suddenly pulled her focus away from the conversation. What followed got very unsettling, very fast. See for yourself.
All of it.
Yeah. You good?
Like 10 minutes this went on. And I'm like, oh my god, could you stop?
Oh, you're looking at your cat.
No, somebody just walked through my kitchen and Bobby freaked out. Did you see him run?
I saw, yeah.
He's still sitting there looking at it.
What is it?
And his like tail is
Yeah, I saw his
swishing.
tail.
I'll move.
Is the person still there?
Bobby, you okay? I don't know. It still like feels really weird in here, but I only saw it like for a second. That's also the same direction that when you said that there were. Oh my god, it's Brendan. He's outside now, thank god. Brendan? No, he's not.
Stop, Amanda. No, it's not.
No, he's not. There's
Stop.
literally.
Wait, how'd your door just open?
No one's out there.
You're lying.
How did her door
No,
just open?
I'm not.
Is he messing with you?
No.
Call your mom or something.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna text someone.
Tell him to come down here.
I literally live in the middle of nowhere. You guys saw my door open.
Yes. That was a crazy.
Her first instinct was to assume her husband Brendan was playing a prank on her, so she walked over and opened the door. But just like a scene straight out of a horror film, the hallway was completely empty. That's when Amanda's instincts kicked in and she immediately shut and locked the door behind her. It turns out she had already sensed something was off earlier, after noticing her cat behaving strangely. Finding no one on the other side of that door seemed to confirm whatever uneasy feeling she had been carrying. It was as if she could feel the presence of something dark or threatening nearby. Not a lot of details have emerged about what took place after the camera stopped rolling, and until more information comes forward from Christian, who was kind enough to share this footage, exactly what occurred that night is still anyone's guess. A housekeeper named Len was jolted awake in the dead of night by someone calling out her name, despite every member of the household being fast asleep upstairs. And whatever was responsible for that voice was clearly not anything living. It had a deeply unsettling quality to it. Turn your volume up for this one. At exactly 5:13 in the morning, when the rest of the world hasn't even stirred yet, a strange, clipped voice speaks her name. Her first thought was that perhaps the homeowner needed something, even though nobody ever calls for her at that hour. She pulls herself out of bed and heads to the kitchen, completely empty. But here's where things take a truly disturbing turn. As she moves past the camera's field of view, her silhouette appears distorted, almost as though something isn't quite right about her form. Less like a person and more like something else wearing one. Then, on her way back to her room, a dim black shadow materializes unmistakably against the wall right behind her. In the comments, Len mentioned she developed a severe, sudden headache almost immediately afterward. And up on the second floor where the family lay sleeping, that same eerie sound was picked up at the very same moment. Not a soul in the kitchen, not a soul in the room. Len later came forward to say that the unusual activity inside the house has been escalating rapidly. Her belief is that some kind of unknown presence, possibly a shapeshifter, has made itself at home there. A huge number of viewers seem to agree. The camera distortion, the name being called before dawn, the warped silhouette, the shadow materializing on the wall, it all points towards something sinister toying with her. So what do you think was really behind that voice? Leave your theory below. The first clip comes from TikTok user Garcia1978, who spends his days working at an auto salvage yard, a place packed with mangled vehicles pulled from crash sites as you'd expect. For the entirety of his time there, nothing unusual ever crossed his path. That all changed when he began noticing strange things. The sound of objects being shifted and loud banging echoing through the facility with absolutely no one around to explain it. These disturbances kept occurring in warehouse number 2 specifically. And on a day when he was filming the space just to give people a look at where he works, his camera picked up something he never intended to catch.
¿Hay alguien ahí? Hello? ¿Quién anda ahí? Hola. ¿Aló? ¿Hay alguien ahí? ¿Hay alguien ahí? No, no hay nadie aquí. ¿Qué chingados fue eso? Hola. Hola. Ay, no hay nadie aquí. No, hombre, yo mejor me voy de aquí. No voy a hacer que salga la llorona. Traca. A ver, al otro lado. Hola. Faltan dos. Traen los vidrios. Ya ni voy a cerrar la parte, ya me voy. Voy chingada de aquí.
The second he steps inside, heavy banging erupts almost immediately, yet every search of the building turns up nothing. Then, a couple of days on, one of the wrecked vehicles starts behaving in a way that defies explanation. Pay close attention to what unfolds.
Sí, aquí han pasado muchos accidentes feos. Llegan con casi como por mitad. Estoy solo aquí en el trabajo. Miren, les presento al Audi, el perrón. Se les voy a mostrar un poco de adentro. La persona se mató. Ahí tiene unos cuantos agujeros arriba. De adentro pues no tiene nada, está todo, ya tiene, creo tiene como casi 5 años. Ya van para 5 años que el carro está aquí. Siempre lo han querido apachurrar, por eso tiene esas X. ¿Sí ven esas cruces? Lo han querido apachurrar, pero como tiene muchas cosas buenas todavía. Tiene los switches, el volante. Los asientos todavía están... No les quiero enseñar mucho porque ya me borraron un video. Pues sí, así está el carrito. De aquí del interior está... Ay, güey. Se quiso menear solo. Agárralo. Espérate. Hijo de tu chingada madre. Pinche susto me sacaste, man. ¿Qué pasó aquí? Raza, el carro ya se quiere ir solo. Ya me voy, ya son las 6:59. Ya casi falta poco para oscurecer.
Every single one of these cars carries a dark history, each one destroyed in a serious accident, many of them connected to fatalities. There's a belief that the energy tied to those deaths doesn't simply disappear, and that sometimes the spirit of whoever owned the vehicle remains tethered to it. What's more, this isn't even the first time this specific car has been spotted doing something that shouldn't be possible.
Aquí un día lluvioso, trabajando. Holy shit. Se me está yendo el carro. ¡Córrele! ¡Córrele! ¡Alcánzalo! ¡Ey! ¡Ey! ¡Espérate! Se me fue, alcánzalo, ey. Holy shit. Ok, vamos a ir a ver el carro, el Audi que camina solo. Está en el mismo lugar. Que según dicen que lo andaban manejando, que no sé qué pedo. Que a lo mejor el turbo quería no sé qué, ni siquiera pinche turbo tiene. Motor no sirve. Está todo quebrado. Vamos a ver quién lo iba manejando. Está lleno de tiliches. Su pinche madre, sí, no, pues lo iban manejando. ¿Quién? Pues no sé quién. Ahí está el carrito. Está detallado. A ver si ahorita no se quiere ir solo.
Garcia goes over to inspect it, but walks away with no clear answers as to why it's rolling on its own. Sure, there might be a very slight slope in the ground, but that alone doesn't account for how freely and repeatedly this car moves, particularly given that one of the rear tires is completely gone. And if the incline were the culprit, why is this the only vehicle that ever shifts? A short while later, Garcia is out working in the yard alongside his son when the kid spots something that stops them both cold.
Look! Look! You see?
No.
No, look! I think she's walking! It's a girl!
¿Dónde?
You didn't see her?
No.
I did not see her. She's walking! You did not see her?
¿Dónde?
Allá! Where'd she go? I don't see her.
¿Dónde?
She was like, God.
¿Dónde?
She was like right there. You see that truck, that, gun on you?
Ajá.
Yeah, right there. I saw her.
A ver, dale. Dale. ¿Dónde? ¿Cómo era? ¿Cómo era? ¿Dónde caminó?
I saw she went this way. I saw don't see what I see. All the people are invisible. But I think it's...
The boy notices a strange woman casually wandering among the crushed cars. But the moment Garcia and his son turn to get a better look, she's simply gone. She appears to have vanished behind one of the wrecks without a trace. This part of the yard isn't somewhere a random passerby could easily wander into, so there's no obvious explanation for her presence. After reviewing the footage, Garcia was left stunned, ultimately coming to the conclusion that what they witnessed was the spirit of the former Audi's owner, returning to reclaim her car. So, is this genuine proof of a ghost caught on camera? A woman named Sierra was bringing her son over to his great-grandmother's house when the Ring camera mounted on the front porch picked up something that's hard to explain. See for yourself what unfolds.
Ready to go, Grandma's? Come on. Let's go.
I want you.
She's got kind of so bad. Yeah.
Dada! I'm just hiding me. Hiding me.
Oh, wait. No, okay. Oop, come on, Clarence. I think my mom's got one. Okay.
Bye, Daddy.
That's what I was just about to ask. What did you say, bud? Did you say bye too?
Bye. Say bye, Daddy.
Oh, okay.
The moment Sierra pushes open the door, a disembodied voice can be heard whispering the word, honey. Then the little boy suddenly reacts, telling his mom that daddy is hugging him. And right after that, a distinct male voice responds, saying, I am.
Oh, wait. No, okay. Oop. Oh, wait.
What makes this so unsettling is that the boy's father was nowhere near that porch. He had actually passed away 8 months before this was recorded. Sierra is convinced that her late husband found a way to reach across and check in on his family one more time. The TikTok account shown here belongs to a man who makes his home far outside any city, tucked away in a remote stretch of wilderness and open fields. Late one evening, his dog began behaving oddly. Something felt off to him, so he pulled out his phone and hit record. See for yourself what his camera picked up.
I don't know if you can see this. Domino, what is that? What the hell is that? Hey!
Hey everyone, so a few of you have been asking me for an update on that video from the other night and that strange creature, or person, or whatever it was, that I spotted out here. Me and my dog Domino were hanging out on the porch and he bolted toward the corner of the yard, which isn't anything out of the ordinary. He does that for rabbits, deer, stuff like that. We're way out in the middle of nowhere. He's not really a barker, so he just trotted up to the edge of his fence boundary. He's on a wireless fence, and stood there staring. I looked over and caught a glimpse of it coming out from behind that swing set, crossing out of the tree line, moving toward that truck over there, and then disappearing behind it into the woods. No clue what it was. It looked brownish red to my eye. We've got a streetlight out there, so I figured it might show up a bit clearer on camera. Sorry about the quality. Apparently zooming in and out turns any phone into a potato, but...
Seen it since, and hopefully I won't, but I still don't know if it was a person or a thing, whatever it was big.
Out in the distance, a dark silhouette can be spotted moving through the frame. It's genuinely difficult to determine whether it's a person or something else entirely. The man says he had absolutely no reason to expect anyone to be out there, and given just how isolated the property is, that detail makes the whole thing considerably more unnerving. And the dog's behavior doesn't exactly calm things down either. So was this something that crept out of the woods, or something that defies easy explanation? Could you see yourself living somewhere like this? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. Grand Sorcerer known as Marco recently relocated to a small wooden cottage in an isolated village in the northern part of Italy. Having spent the majority of his life in urban settings, he was searching for a place to work that offered true solitude. His first several weeks in the new home were everything he had hoped for, but that sense of peace didn't last long once strange sounds began drifting down from the attic after dark. Marco describes hearing the deeply unsettling noise of floorboards creaking, along with what seemed like objects shifting around, and occasionally the distinct sound of something being dragged across the floor above him. He began pulling out his phone to record whenever these disturbances started up, and after a while, he managed to capture this. Once again, that same chilling sensation as whatever was up there seemed to be moving directly overhead. Summoning his nerve while listening to those sounds, he eventually decided to climb up and investigate the attic himself. The cramped, darkened space appeared to be completely empty, and as he stood there holding his phone, the sound of hangers rattling suddenly came from somewhere behind him. He spun around fast, and in that same moment, a chair in front of him was shoved violently to one side. That sudden jolt was all it took to send him scrambling back down the ladder in a panic. According to Marco, ever since that night, he has been staying at a friend's place because the thought of setting foot back inside that house is simply too much for him to bear. After a long shift, a woman came home and pulled into her driveway, immediately noticing the lights inside flickering erratically. Getting closer, she saw that her front door was standing wide open. Fearing someone had broken in and knowing she was completely by herself, she wasted no time dialing the police. When two officers showed up and made their way inside, what they found waiting for them defied any rational explanation.
Police! If anyone's here, make yourself known. Police!
A closet door suddenly snapped shut with no one anywhere near it. The officers pressed on with their search, and that's when things took an even stranger turn.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
A door drifted open all on its own, almost as if something was guiding the officer deeper into the house, and then it did it a second time. People watching also pointed out that his body camera appeared to be malfunctioning, which many interpreted as a sign of some supernatural force in the vicinity. But right when the officer thought he was just about finished, something happened that rattled him to his very core.
Downstairs, clear. Upstairs clear? Yeah.
There's an unmistakable sound of something or someone charging straight toward him. He flinches and whips around, only to find the space completely empty. A lot of viewers are convinced this is undeniable proof of a presence trying to assert itself, while others think it may be a spirit sending him a warning to get out. Either way, one thing is hard to argue. There is no simple explanation for any of this.
Hello?
Man was going about his usual household chores when he began picking up strange sounds drifting up from his basement. He tried brushing it off at first, but the noises grew louder and harder to dismiss. With a creeping sense of dread, he pulled out his phone and hit record.
Hello? Hello? Anybody here? Hello? Hello? The heck is that? Hello?
The door leading down to the basement slowly swung open by itself. Nobody was standing there, yet it continued to inch its way open. Then, before he even had a chance to process what he was seeing, a second door further inside the basement slammed shut with a violent bang. That was all it took to rattle him. You can feel the fear washing over him as he freezes, completely at a loss for what to do. But what unfolds after this point is even harder to shake. Pay close attention to what the camera picks up.
Who is it?
Without warning, the basement lights cut out entirely, swallowing everything in darkness. The man panics and bolts, losing his grip on the phone as he flees, and this is where it gets truly disturbing. A few seconds pass, and then the phone begins sliding across the floor on its own. Alongside that, the recording captures faint, unsettling sounds in the background. So where do you stand on this one? Was there some kind of invisible presence trying to make contact with him, or could there be another explanation? A woman by the name of Melissa Cottrell shared a video on her personal Instagram account. Melissa isn't some big-time content creator chasing her 15 minutes of fame. Her profile is entirely devoted to her home life and her passion for knitting. Yet, recently, a clip she posted exploded in popularity, pulling in close to 2 million views almost overnight. Melissa says that on March 3rd at precisely 12:50 in the morning, a tremendous and inexplicable boom rattled her entire house, throwing her pets into a complete frenzy. Just moments after that, her phone lit up with an unsettling alert. Her security system had flagged the presence of a person outside, but when she checked the live feed, nothing about what she saw resembled a human being at all. See for yourself. At first, your brain genuinely struggles to make sense of what's unfolding on screen. An unidentifiable mass appears to violently snap between 3 separate positions, almost as though it's jumping through space in real time. The form is completely chaotic and distorted, but sharp-eyed viewers decided to slow things down and go through this lightning-fast movement one frame at a time. When the footage is frozen at precisely the right millisecond, a deeply unsettling detail comes into focus. Buried within the blurred distortion, the unmistakable outline of a human skull becomes visible. This strange discovery has sent the internet into a full-blown debate. Some people are certain the thunderous boom and the spatial jumping are textbook signs of a UFO or some kind of fracture in reality itself, while others argue that the skull imagery points to something far darker and entirely demonic in nature. This footage was posted to TikTok by a user going by the name Magical Poltergeist. After enduring years of frightening paranormal experiences, one man finally reached his breaking point. Convinced that his personal faith would be enough to shield him, he attempted to purify his home on his own, despite having no background in exorcisms or spiritual cleansing. Then, during one particular night while he lay sleeping, something deeply unsettling unfolded. See for yourself what the camera captured.
Holy Spirit, te pido, Señor, que me proteja en el nombre del Padre, Hijo y Espíritu Santo. Hoy quiero leer este salmo. Thus says the Lord, your Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am the Lord of the God, who teaches you the prophet, who leads you by the way you should go. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I command you to take these demons out of the house. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, I ask you to leave my house, please. I command you to leave the house in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I am reading the Father's prayers. Leave this house now. Leave in the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. I command you to leave right now. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Without warning, piercing screams tore through the entire house. Pieces of furniture rattled and shook, and the temperature in the room plummeted to a bone-chilling cold. Fear swept through the space in an instant as a cross mounted on the wall began slowly rotating by itself until it hung completely inverted. The man watched in absolute horror, and the experience left him with no doubt in his mind that something genuinely demonic had taken up residence within his home. The following ghost footage comes from one of the most credible paranormal investigation channels out there, Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations. This team of ghost hunters paid a visit to the historic St. Mary's Church, situated in Edlesborough, England. Historians place the church's origins in the early 1100s, though certain scholars believe it could be even older than that. A number of people who have visited the church over the years report encountering shadowy, dark-hooded figures, as well as the apparition of Thomas Cobbenberry, a former vicar said to still roam the building. Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations managed to get hold of a photograph taken inside the church by one of those visitors, and what it captured is hard to explain. The image appears to show a dark, hooded figure frozen mid-motion within the church walls. In another photograph obtained by the team, a second shadowy figure is visible standing in the entrance to the chapel. For the opening portion of their investigation, the ghost hunters explore the historic building, recording strange disembodied voices, unexplained knocking sounds, and even spotting a few shadow figures along the way. Then, roughly 28 minutes in, the team decides to settle down for the night inside the chancel area of the church. They leave their static cameras running unattended, and here's what those cameras recorded while they slept.
We make up our beds in the chancel and get our heads down with our static cams and audio running for the remainder of the night. "50 minutes later, whilst we are asleep, static cam 3 in the north aisle captures a shadow figure moving along the wall in the chancel. It seems to then go into the floor, then it rises up and moves along the wall towards the south aisle. As we are asleep, static cam 4 in the chancel picks up footsteps, and then a loud bang is heard, which wakes up Phil and I.
Captured on the ghost hunting team's night vision camera, a mysterious shadow can be seen moving across a wall of the church before disappearing.
Caught on the team's night vision setup, a mysterious shadow glides across the church wall before vanishing completely from frame. The question is, who or what cast it? Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations state that every member of the team was asleep when the shadow appeared, and no one else was present in the building. On a separate camera, the sleeping investigators are clearly visible when the distinct sound of footsteps can be heard moving through the space nearby. Moments later, a loud bang rings out, jolting the investigators awake. So, did Ghost Tech Paranormal Investigations actually capture genuine paranormal activity inside the ancient St. Mary's Church? Frigid winter evening, a family already no stranger to the unexplained inside their home managed to record what they can only describe as a deeply unsettling apparition on their security system. It starts simply enough. The father slips outside for a moment to dispose of the trash. Nothing out of the ordinary. But on his way back to the front door, something stops him cold. An overwhelming feeling that he isn't alone, that something is lurking just over his shoulder. Shaken and unable to shake the sensation, he pulls up the security footage to see if it caught anything. What he finds defies explanation. In the recording, you can watch him approaching the entrance. keys already in his grip. Just as he moves to unlock the door, a faint semi-transparent form flickers into view directly behind him. The shadowy figure seems to emerge for only a brief instant, barely perceptible, yet undeniably there. What sends chills down your spine is the exact moment the man abruptly spins around as though something had reached out and grabbed his attention. When the clip is played back in slow motion, that shape begins to take on features, what appears to be the outline of a head, complete with a large hollow eye. Skeptics have pointed to the possibility of wind-driven snow creating a trick of the light, but for a household that has already lived through its share of strange and inexplicable moments, that answer falls painfully short. That night left behind far more questions than it resolved. Whatever you believe, one thing is hard to argue. This footage isn't leaving anyone's memory anytime soon. She was filming herself playing, but what she captured was absolutely terrifying. This next clip was shared by a woman on her Instagram page who says she discovered this disturbing footage on her younger sister's camera. Apparently, the little girl had told her older sister that something frightening had appeared in her room while she was playing and recording herself. Curious and concerned, the woman went back through the camera footage to see what her sister might have witnessed, and what she found shook her to the core. Judge for yourself what unfolds in this recording.
Hey guys, today I'm going to show you my Skibidi toilet collection that I just got today. We went to a toy store and they had all of these things like this cameraman, these tiny little action figures, this big Skibidi toilet, and these ones. And then we actually found these Skibidi toilet shoes and they say Skibidi toilet on them, and I'm gonna wear it to school tomorrow. A lot of kids at my school like Skibidi toilet. Saw my friend the other day and we went on a walk and we also got ice cream that day, and I'm having a lot of fun.
At first, everything looks completely ordinary, and then, without warning, the little girl goes quiet and her gaze drifts upward. The look on her face is pure terror, as though something unseen has just revealed itself to her. Seconds later, she bolts out of the room in tears. But perhaps the most unsettling part comes right after she disappears. A dark, semi-transparent shape materializes and shoots across the room at a speed that's hard to explain. The woman who posted the video believes that shadowy figure is exactly what her little sister had encountered that day. She also mentions that her sister has not been willing to set foot back in that room to sleep ever since. So what do you think? What is your explanation for what appeared in this footage? All the signs suggested it was going to be a completely unremarkable evening. A few friends were making their way down a residential street on what felt like a perfectly routine night, when something near one particular house stopped them dead in their tracks. Whatever they encountered on that porch was so bizarre and difficult to process that not one of them has managed to make sense of it, even to this day.
What the hell?
Hey, what is that? Look, it's just moving. What am I?
In the footage, we're shown the front porch of what initially appears to be a completely unremarkable home. But within just a few moments, it becomes obvious that something isn't right. A dark, shadowy haze hangs in the air, and not in any still or passive way. It drifts and shifts, changing direction with an eerie kind of purpose, almost as though something unseen is guiding it. The group stands there quietly, caught somewhere between fascination and genuine dread. Then, as if things weren't already disturbing enough, the situation takes an even darker turn. The haze begins to pull together, forming rough contours that loosely suggest the shape of a human figure, as though something is attempting to make itself known through the murk. The clip doesn't offer any clear-cut answers, but whatever is materializing on that porch refuses to be explained away neatly. Some argue it's a staged or manufactured effect, while others are convinced they're looking at something far more sinister, a malevolent presence connected to that very house. Either way, the video leaves a lasting chill and stands as one of the most deeply unsettling pieces of footage ever shared on the internet. A mother sits down with her 2 daughters as they have a meal together. Without warning, the eldest daughter becomes visibly distressed and terrified by something she's apparently seen in the adjacent room, despite nothing unusual appearing on camera.
What?
What?
I'm scared. It's okay.
The mother stays composed, gently asking her daughter what's wrong, but gets no response. The younger girl glances over her shoulder, sees nothing out of the ordinary, and actually laughs at her big sister for seemingly being spooked by thin air.
What was that? What are you doing? Oh, what, Nani? Look at me. What are you scared of? The fish? Oh, the fish died.
What?
Angel's sleeping already. It's raining, girls.
No.
Nani, are you almost done eating? Look at me. Look at me.
That is, until the little one takes another look, and whatever her older sister spotted, she sees it too. The fear on her face is immediate and completely overwhelming.
Turn around. Turn around. But you gotta listen to me. Turn around. Look at me. What's the matter?
According to Louise, both children insist they witnessed a ghost standing in the other room, despite nothing unusual being visible to their mother or showing up anywhere on the footage. On December 6, 2025, a woman by the name of Marissa captured something deeply disturbing on camera after rushing back home late one night. She and her girlfriend had only just moved into a townhome in Baldwinsville, New York, a few weeks prior, when a series of unexplained events started occurring throughout the house. Her sister had been sitting alone scrolling through TikTok for a few minutes when something frightened her so badly she called Marissa in a panic. The moment Marissa got back, she could hear the fear in her sister's voice and immediately pulled out her phone and started filming.
Oh my god. What? Stop! Relax!
I came upstairs, I'm not joking.
What do you mean?
I was down there with them, you can see that camera, there's like, I heard it twice.
Heard what?
I kept laughing.
Okay, relax.
I literally looked back, I ignored it, then it happened again, and I got up and started freaking out. You can see that camera.
Okay, relax.
No,
I just left them here, at the store.
No, there's a kid upstairs laughing, that's my apple appliance there.
Oh my god, dude. Upstairs?
Yes, it sounded just like a kid, like a high-pitched voice. Twice. You literally see me look at the thing twice. And I thought it was TV, but it wasn't.
Why it's not here? Oh my, dude, I just rushed and left them there.
Nobody noticed anything out of the ordinary at the time, but people watching the footage later caught something that stopped them cold. The childlike sound Marissa's sister swore she heard turns out to be audible in the recording. Faint, high-pitched, and chillingly resembling a small child giggling somewhere in the background. What adds another layer of dread to all of this is that Marissa had only been in that home for a matter of weeks, and the only other person living there was her girlfriend. not a single child anywhere in the house. Shaken by what her sister had heard and visibly rattled by the experience, Marissa made the decision to go check upstairs. They went through the entire upper floor carefully but came up empty. Still not feeling settled, she turned her focus toward the attic.
You good?
Oh, she's gonna move it back.
Oh, shit. Like this. There you go. You gonna grab it? Wish my phone didn't drop up there.
No one's going to get it. I'm just gonna show you because like 6 over.
It's a whole other mission to get my phone out, I'm telling you right now. So I'm not leaving my phone up there.
I know. Smart though, because
Oh, I keep upstairs.
I'm just gonna spin it a couple times. Just spin it around. Just go, try to go as slow as you can. Well, it's either downstairs or upstairs, so I don't. It's gotta be there somewhere.
Oh, what the f? There's like one of the wooden.
What are the one what?
One of the wooden like posts holding the ceiling up. All of them. The ones going across like this at the angle. They're all charred.
What's that mean?
Burnt.
Like the house?
Like they're charcoal.
Really?
Yeah, just those holding the ceiling up.
Like there was like a fire up there at some point?
Obviously, Martha.
Yeah, but everything else is normal. Just these ones right above me going like this. There's a couple of them.
Can you try to
Black and
Jesus, Peach.
Yeah, he's looking at the Rico. Look. He knows.
Yeah, he's been following me.
He knows it's up
He just
there.
ran all the way up here.
Yeah, he knows it's up there. He's looking up there.
I'm trying to get it.
What is it, Peach? Oh, go see Papa.
It's not Papa.
It's okay. Look out.
I'm gonna twist it.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, it's black as charcoal.
Look right up there.
Oh, charcoal.
It is like
There's a couple of them all the way across.
Wow.
Just the ones holding the ceiling up. Charcoal.
Is my phone falling off the tape?
No, you're good.
What the charcoal?
Those are black. There's like feathered almost looking. It's weird.
That's literally like it was burnt.
That's what wood looks like too. It's feathered. It's like
I've never seen anything like that.
it's been bonfire.
That's.
She secured her phone to the end of a broomstick and lifted it up through the attic opening, slowly sweeping the camera around the space. That's where things got even harder to explain. Viewers spotted what looks like a drop of blood visible overhead. Then, close to a gray box, a pale face appears to momentarily emerge, either from within it or as some kind of reflection, before disappearing as the camera continues to pan. On top of that, people noted what seemed to be burn marks along the attic beams, hinting that the house may have gone through a fire at some point. Further digging revealed the home dates back to 1886, which leaves an enormous window of time for a dark and troubled past. Shortly after all of this, another strange incident unfolded and sparked a serious conflict between Marissa and her girlfriend.
We get into a little fight about something stupid. I go upstairs into our bedroom. She stays on the couch downstairs. I'm dead sleeping in the bedroom. She was downstairs. All of a sudden, she's sitting on the couch scrolling through TikTok. She hears this noise and it got louder and louder and louder. This noise was a woman moaning. This noise increasingly went from 0 to 11. But when she heard that, my girlfriend thought I snuck a female upstairs. She throws the dogs off her and runs upstairs and kicks the bedroom door open. And when she did that, I jumped out of my sleep and she's like, "What the are you doing?" "What are you talking about? I'm sleeping." I start panicking in my own room. I close the door. She goes outside to go sit in her car to catch some air, to relax. I hear her open the door, go outside. I hear her open her car door, close it. I hear her car start. All of a sudden, I hear, it sounded like someone had a bat and was banging on my truck. I said, "Get in the house now." So she came upstairs and she's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Why the you on the truck?" I'm like, "We just moved in here. We have neighbors."
That confrontation pushed Marissa to head down to the basement, where she immediately noticed something that felt very off.
more what's covering.
Yes. So, he goes down to a couple walls. I've never seen that. Yeah, she'll keep and they like.
What is that? Why is there a wood piece covering a wood piece in this creepy basement?
A wooden plank seemed to be deliberately placed over another large board, as though it was concealing some kind of hidden space underneath the floor. Making things stranger still, Marissa's auto captions began picking up voices in several different languages throughout the footage. When her sister sat down to translate the phrases later on, what they found only deepened the sense of dread surrounding everything.
First one, right? And it translate to that. Now let me show you the second one. There is this. My roommate that went downstairs in the basement before me recorded this, and she said something was drawing her to this specific area, right? And it says, the most important thing is this. All right, now it gets creepier. Now it goes to this, and we translated it, and it went to this. And we looked up what that means. A gender-neutral name of African origin meaning second born of twins. Then we went to this one. And it says break up. Do you guys remember me telling you the spirit that made the moaning upstairs and my girlfriend thought I was cheating on her at 12:30 at night? It made us.
The two of them started to believe that something malevolent inside that house was actively working to tear them apart. Between the mysterious voices that seemed to fuel their argument and the translated phrases pulled from the basement recording, the connections felt far too deliberate to write off as coincidence. But the most pressing question still hasn't been answered. What exactly is buried beneath that basement floor? And whatever was lurking in the attic, was it ever really alone up there? This unsettling mystery is far from over. Over on the Paranormal Encounter subreddit, a user going by Hamanto3 shared a clip that his friend recorded after recently settling into a new home. And the footage is genuinely unsettling. Right at the beginning, the guy is speaking directly to the camera, explaining that his dog is completely fixated on something off in the distance that he himself can't make out. He keeps talking about how uncomfortable the whole thing is making him. And then, out of nowhere, this is what the camera caught.
Mm-hmm. I know. I think something's wrong. I don't know. I hear noises, but I'm not even sure. Are you kidding me right now?
His reaction is immediate. You can clearly hear the shock and disbelief in his voice. The friend, referred to as Sprend in the upload, then continues filming in near silence for a stretch, until his dog suddenly erupts into loud, frantic barking directed at something inside the house. Despite his best efforts to settle the animal down, the dog keeps going, visibly agitated by whatever it's sensing. And that's when things get even stranger.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong? Jackson. Jackson. What's wrong? There's banging and stuff.
Without anyone touching it, the door in the room slowly swings shut on its own while the dog is still going absolutely wild. Details beyond what's in the footage are pretty scarce, but the atmosphere alone is enough to make your skin crawl. According to the uploader, his friend packed up and left that house not long after, and honestly, it's tough to argue with that decision. Now, rational explanations do exist. Drafts, uneven floors, or shifting air pressure can all cause doors to move on their own. and dogs are known to react to faint sounds or subtle shadows that humans simply don't register. But the way the barking and the door closing line up so precisely makes it genuinely difficult to brush off. Paranormal or not, pretty much anyone standing in that room would have felt their stomach drop, and you really can't fault the guy for getting out when he did. Homeowner by the name of Jose recorded something genuinely strange on his home surveillance system. The figures he caught on tape, later nicknamed the Fresno night crawlers by the public, appeared as two thin, white, two-legged creatures that looked almost like a pair of trousers strolling across his lawn. His dog sensed something was out there and erupted into frantic barking. Yet, Jose himself had no idea anything unusual had occurred.
A puppet and child tests to see what was actually on the footage. And what they ended up concluding is that this
until he went back through his footage. The mysterious entities left investigators from the sci-fi docuseries Fact or Faked Paranormal Files completely stumped, with the team ultimately concluding the recording could not be confirmed as either genuine or fabricated. Skeptics, meanwhile, have thrown out a range of alternative explanations, from carefully staged hoaxes to animals that simply weren't recognized for what they were. Even so, the sheer oddity of how these figures look and move has convinced a significant number of people that something far more remarkable is at play. Certain theorists point toward an extraterrestrial source, while others draw a connection to legends rooted in Native American tradition. Whatever the true answer turns out to be, the Fresno Nightcrawlers have cemented themselves as one of the most recognizable and deeply puzzling cases in the entire canon of unexplained surveillance footage. The following video was recorded on a Ring security camera inside what appears to be a bedroom, a tidy, softly lit space at night, the kind of room that feels completely ordinary right up until it doesn't. According to the person who shared this footage, they were home alone, with no roommates in the house, no one expected, no one nearby. Watch.
Yeah?
At the 3-second mark, 2 sharp, firm knocks ring out. Clear, deliberate, exactly the kind of sound you'd hear if someone's knuckles connected with a wooden door. And she responds naturally, calmly calling out, "Yeah?" from somewhere off camera, as if she fully expected someone to answer. No one did. The room stays completely still. No door opens, no footsteps follow, nothing moves. That's what makes it so unsettling. A knock that deliberate doesn't happen on its own. Some viewers think it's residual energy, the idea that certain spaces replay past actions like a loop, a knock from someone who used to live there, still reaching for an answer. Others aren't convinced by that and lean towards something more active, something that knew she was home. What you're left with is a sound that had intention behind it, and a silence afterward that's harder to explain than the knock itself. The following video was recorded by a man doing what he does most nights, walking around his compound making sure everything was as he left it. At dusk, he starts filming himself on his phone, giving a casual walkthrough of the yard. A couple of sheds, some trees, nothing unusual. But as the light fades completely and he switches to a flashlight to navigate the dark, something stops him. Watch.
What the f... Sound like a twig snapping behind me. As y'all can see, ain't nobody here, it's just me. Because people like to say I got people hiding in places. Oh, man. Whew. The chills I just got. Oh, my heart is racing. Okay, we're gonna see it through. We're gonna see it through. So I've been sitting out here now for about maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm not really sure at this point. Not much else has happened. Aside from the noise that I heard in front of me, the twig snapping, which could have just been a twig falling from the tree, nothing's really gone on. So I think I'm just gonna get ready to just like wrap it up, and because I gotta get ready to go to work anyway. But oh my, holy, I don't know if the camera picked that up. That was loud as fudge. It sounded like something hitting the thing, the shed. I hope that other camera is recording. If it is, I'm gonna include that footage. That was loud. These damn animals are going crazy tonight. You can't even see me. I don't know why I turned the damn camera. You can't see me. I'm trying to do this. I heard that clear as day. I heard leave as clear as day. Nope. Time to go. Okay. Later.
The shed door he insists he locked earlier that night is standing open. He pushes it shut, latches it, and then, after a moment of hesitation, decides to go inside. What he finds on the shelves isn't a tool chest or garden equipment. It's dozens of Lalaloopsy dolls, all in their original packaging, lined up in neat rows like they've been carefully arranged and waiting. A child's rocking horse sits on the floor. It's the kind of discovery that doesn't make sense in a shed like this, on a property like this, at this hour. Then, while he's standing there taking it all in, he looks off to his left, and whatever he sees makes him let out a sharp, guttural yell before the camera drops and the footage cuts. You never see what he reacted to. Some viewers think the collection itself is the real story, that objects associated with children, especially dolls, have long been connected in paranormal accounts to residual energy or to something that uses familiar, comforting forms to draw people closer. Skeptics argue the whole thing reads more like a short horror film than a genuine patrol gone wrong, pointing to the neat narrative arc and the perfectly timed text overlay. But his reaction in that final moment, the pitch of that yell, the way the camera just drops, is difficult to explain away. So what do you think was standing in that shed? This next video was recorded on a home security camera overnight. No one in the house, no one in the room, just a static infrared shot of a living room sitting completely empty in the dark. There's a couch, an interior door to the left, a clock on the wall, and beyond that a kitchen counter. Nothing moves, not once across the entire clip. But if you can hear what's playing on the audio, you'll understand why this footage has been making the rounds. Watch. Viewers initially suggested it could be another member of the household walking through the home during the night. That's certainly one possibility. But according to the person who shared the footage, everyone in the house was asleep when the camera captured it, and no one could account for anyone walking that hallway at that hour. Others pointed toward the idea of a shadow person, one of the most commonly reported apparitions in paranormal cases. Unlike traditional ghost sightings, shadow figures are often described not as transparent spirits, but as solid, featureless silhouettes that appear briefly in peripheral spaces such as hallways, staircases, and doorways before vanishing without a trace. Interestingly, hallways themselves have long held symbolic significance in folklore. They're transitional spaces connecting one room to another, neither destination nor origin. Across various traditions, liminal places like hallways, thresholds, and doorways have often been regarded as places where the boundary between the ordinary world and the unknown feels unusually thin. Whether that's what this camera captured or simply someone who somehow went unnoticed remains impossible to prove. But if there really was no one awake in that house, then who or what was quietly walking through the hallway while everyone slept? This next video was recorded at night inside what appears to be a home. A living room, a kitchen, a dark outdoor space glimpsed through a barred window. And from the very first frame, something already feels off. The person filming moves through the space in near total silence, sweeping a powerful light source through the rooms, the kind of light that shifts between green and red and throws everything into harsh, disorienting shadows. A child's tricycle sits near a speaker stand. Framed photos line an entertainment unit. Normal things in a space that doesn't feel normal anymore. For the first 2 minutes, there's no audio at all, just the flicker of colored lights, the unsteady movement of a handheld camera, and a slow, creeping sense that whatever has drawn this man through his own home is getting closer. Watch.
Va de retro satana, itzi, vana, non draco, elevas, itse venena vivas. Va de retro satana. Va de retro satana. Y estoy, amigos, con ustedes. No tengan miedo. Que si yo no tengo miedo, ustedes tampoco. La verga, güey. No, fue mala idea decir esas mamadas. El agua. Está lloviendo. Cruz sacra sitmi y lux, non draco sitmi y lux, va de retro satana, nun quan suade mini vana, sud mala, elevas, vitse venena vivas. Aquí fui.
The handle moves as though someone or something is trying to force its way inside. Many viewers suggested there could have been an ordinary explanation. Perhaps someone outside had mistaken the house, or strong wind was putting pressure on the door. Those possibilities can't be ruled out. Others weren't convinced. Across many folklore traditions, an unseen presence attempting to gain entry carries a particular significance. Stories from Europe, Asia, and Latin America often describe supernatural entities as remaining outside a home until they are invited in, or until someone willingly opens the door. Whether those tales are symbolic or literal depends entirely on who you ask, but they all share one common warning. Don't open the door simply because something on the other side wants your attention. That detail is what unsettled so many viewers. Whatever was outside never announced itself, and sometimes the things you never see are far more frightening than the ones you do. On another night, the man was jolted awake by a sound coming from the same part of the house. Expecting to find a window open or something that had fallen over, he grabbed his phone and started recording as he made his way into the room. What he found was far stranger. Watch. A wooden rocking chair is moving back and forth on its own. Not a slight wobble, and not the kind of movement you'd expect after someone has just stood up. It's rocking steadily, over and over again, as though someone is still sitting in it, even though the room is completely empty. He slowly scans the area, looking for anything that could explain it. Nothing. No one is there. Rocking chairs have occupied a strange place in ghost stories for generations. From old family homes to abandoned farmhouses, they're often portrayed as symbols of an unseen occupant, something present but invisible. While folklore isn't evidence, the image of an empty chair rocking by itself has become one of the most enduring motifs in paranormal accounts because it creates the unsettling impression that a space is occupied even when it appears vacant. The following video was recorded by a man named David, who has been dealing with strange, escalating activity inside his home for what appears to be a significant stretch of time, long enough that he's stopped being surprised by individual events and started trying to document a pattern. On this particular night, he woke to sounds he couldn't immediately explain, grabbed his phone, and began moving through the dark hallway with nothing but the screen's glow lighting the way. A person named Frida was asleep in a red hammock in the living room, completely undisturbed, while David made his way from room to room, checking each door. He'd said earlier that he thought it had all stopped. Watch.
Yo creo que ya se había acabado. Se empezó a mover. No hay nadie. Y ese es Frida. Que no hay nada ni nadie. Eso había detenido todo esto. No sé.
The doorknob turned on its own, slowly, deliberately, and the door swung open into darkness, with no one on the other side. The most unnerving moment came last. A disembodied female voice, close and clear, whispered his name, David, in a room he was alone in. 3 separate events in under 2 minutes is the kind of escalation that tends to shift how people think about a case, and it clearly shifted something for David too, because what comes next is a full investigation. Watch closely.
Ahí se escucha. Ya está, antes de voy a encender la luz de esto.
In the days that followed, David installed security cameras, scattered talcum powder on the floor to track movement, and started recording everything. The cameras caught a faint voice that sounds like a child saying, "I hate you, Dad," in an empty room. And on March 28th of 2026, at around 1:30 in the morning, the security footage captured a fast-moving white shape darting behind a box and appearing to vanish into a large mirror. Some viewers believe it's what David himself called La Niña, the girl, suggesting something or someone has made that mirror a point of entry or exit. Others pointed to the diorama on David's desk, a hollowed-out CRT television containing a doll styled after the figure from The Ring, and wondered whether bringing that kind of object into the home had anything to do with what's been happening. David says he's considering opening the doll and has asked for advice from anyone familiar with these situations. What's harder to dismiss is the combination: a voice that knows his name, a shape that disappears into a mirror, and footprints that haven't appeared in the powder yet. But that's exactly the kind of detail that makes you wonder what David's going to find when he checks it next time. Now, in this next clip, a man is home alone when something inside his basement begins violently demanding to be let out. For several seconds, the door to the basement shakes and rattles in its frame with a force that sounds less like a draft and more like something throwing its full weight against the wood from the other side. He's holding his phone, standing in the hallway, and you can hear it before you even see it. Loud, aggressive, rhythmic banging that doesn't stop for over 10 seconds. Watch.
What in the hell is that sound? What the hell is that?
don't hear it now.
The door rattles like something is furious on the other side, and when he finally opens it, the basement staircase looks undisturbed. Just a few cardboard boxes sitting on the steps. But then there's a cut in the footage, and that's where things shift. A deep guttural growl fills the audio, raw and animalistic, and his breathing immediately goes ragged. When he gets the nerve to open that door a second time, the boxes have moved. Not fallen. Moved. The single box on the left has slid further down and closer to the wall, and the stack on the right has shifted position entirely. If you compare both door openings side by side, the displacement is hard to dismiss. Some viewers think whatever was banging wanted to be seen, and once it realized the camera was off, it finished what it started. Others believe the growl and the movement are two separate things sharing the same basement. He said he didn't hear it anymore once he opened the door the second time. That might be the most unsettling detail of all. The following video is about Nate, someone many viewers already recognize for the strange and often unsettling activity that seems to follow him wherever he goes. Over time, people began pointing something out to him, that he might be giving whatever it is too much attention, and that constantly reacting to it could actually be making things worse. So he decided to try something different. He started ignoring it. No reactions, no engagement, just going about his day like nothing was there. But that didn't last long because one morning, this happened. Watch.
Alright. So you people tell me to ignore things, so... Tell me what the fuck that is. I have things going on in here and in the bathroom right above me, or some upstairs above me at the same time. But, you know, I'll just ignore it. And it's not as simple as people think. Unless people experience these things, then it's not as easy as just ignoring it when this shit happens to you. I'm working on it.
Once again, you can hear faint whispers in the background, unclear but definitely there. And what makes this moment even more unsettling is that just seconds before he started recording, the cabinet where the cup falls from was completely closed. Moments like this are why many believe that attention plays a role in these situations. Some say that reacting to activity can strengthen whatever is causing it, almost like feeding it energy, but others argue the opposite, that ignoring it doesn't make it go away. It just makes it find other, more aggressive ways to be noticed. And for Nate, it doesn't stop at home, because as much as he deals with this inside his house, his workplace isn't any different. Watch this.
All right. Good morning, ghosts. Happy Friday to you guys, too. Well, I don't really see anything out of place or kind of... Everything looks... Oh. I could feel that. I could feel that. Did I offend you by saying good morning?
different. Alright, I take back the good morning then. Oh, okay. We're gonna do this now. Alright. I take back good morning then. Jesus Christ. Well, now the knocking on the walls has started once again. Just figure out, turn the camera on and see if I can catch it, because I mean it was every wall. Like, and it's inside because when it did it on this wall, this and the chains were slightly swaying. So that tells me I wish I can understand what whatever this is wanted.
At the cemetery where he works, something can be heard bang against the walls of the garage over and over again. Not random noises, but heavy, deliberate impacts, like something trying to get his attention from the other side. Some believe this could be tied to the environment itself. Cemeteries are often associated with residual energy, places where emotions, grief, and history linger. Others think it could be something more direct, something that may have attached itself to Nate, following him between locations. And then there's one of the strangest things he's come across at work. Watch.
We have this morning. Just one. No other ones. Just one single claw print or weird handprint. Fingers are super long. They look a little sharp on the edge, like small scratches underneath. And there is it's almost like it was jumping up there, but I don't see anything.
On the floor, there's a deep claw-like marks, just one, as if something appeared, dragged across the surface once, and vanished. Some viewers even claim to hear whispers toward the end of the clip, though no one could clearly make out what was being said. So what could leave a mark like that? This one remains unsolved. In this next video, a father shares an experience that completely changed the way he sees his own home. For some time, there had been small things he couldn't fully explain, moments where he thought he heard movement late at night, or faint sounds coming from parts of the house that should have been empty. Nothing too obvious, just enough to make him uneasy, but not enough to convince himself something was wrong, until one night, he suddenly woke up to the sound of his son crying, not a soft whimper, but the kind of crying that makes you get up immediately. Without thinking twice, he rushed out of his room to check on him, but something didn't feel right, so he decided to check the camera. Watch closely.
Good. No.
You can hear it clearly, a child crying, but then something else happens. A figure moves past, and for a brief moment, it looks like the shape of a child. Yet, something about it feels off. The movement isn't natural, the timing doesn't match the crying, and the presence itself feels separate from the sound. And this is where things start to get really disturbing, because when he finally checked on his son was fine. Not crying, not awake, just sleeping, which raises a terrifying possibility. Some viewers believe this could be a case of something imitating familiar sounds to draw attention, possibly to lure someone out of their room. It's a theory often mentioned in cases where voices or cries are heard, but don't match any real person in the house. Others think it could be a shadow figure manifesting briefly, using sound and movement together to make its presence known. But whatever it was, it knew exactly what would get his attention. So if that wasn't his son crying, then what was it? I'll let you be the judge. Now, in this next clip, Isaac, the man living in that old property with 2 haunted sheds, a place already known for strange activity that seems to grow worse over time, shares an update on his current situation. On this particular day, Isaac was doing a live stream, going about things normally, when a strange sound suddenly caught his attention. It wasn't loud, but it was enough to make him stop mid-sentence and go check it out. Watch this.
Y'all heard it too. Y'all heard it too? Because I know I heard something. I know I'm not going crazy. I'm standing right here with y'all. I'm standing right here with y'all. My hands. My hands. I'm standing right here with y'all. Just burn the whole house at this point. I can't, they ain't got nowhere to live. Fuck. Oh. Ah. Ooh. Ow. Oh. Hit my leg. I hit my knee so bad. Oh my God, that hurt. Ooh.
Isaac had previously explained that this room used to belong to the grandfather who owned the land, and according to family members, he always preferred warm temperatures. It was something very specific about him, something only people close to him would know. And just to rule out any easy explanations, Isaac made it clear during the live stream that the other remote was in the living room, and the remotes don't control each other, something he had tested before when he once misplaced one of them. So if no one was in the room, and no remote was being used, then what turned it on? Some viewers believe this could be the grandfather's presence, something familiar, almost routine, repeating what he used to do when he was alive. But others aren't so convinced, because what happens next changes the tone completely. Tired of everything happening around him, Isaac eventually decided to bless the house, and for a few days, things were quiet. Almost too quiet, until this happened. Watch.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Like I said, I've left the living room and I've officially moved into the bedroom now, and it's what the hell? Well, well, I was gonna say, that it's been pretty calm all day. Somebody did ask me if they blessed the sheds, and the answer is no. They actually didn't. For some reason, my landlord was pretty adamant about leaving the sheds alone. We did the furthest one where the memorial is, but the one near the house and the one with the car in it, she was absolutely adamant that that would not be blessed, that would not be touched, and so we didn't touch it. I didn't ask any questions. Her reaction wasn't like mean or anything. She was just like, yeah, I don't like that's not a good idea. Almost kind of like, nah, just leave it alone type of thing. So, I mean, other than that, it's been a really good day. It's been a really damn good day, to be perfectly honest with you. Why are my windows so foggy? Look at this. Look how foggy my windows are. Look, these two. Can you even see it? I don't even know if you can see it. It's like mad condensation. Why is there so much condensation on my flipping window? I didn't run. Yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say, to be perfectly honest with you, but guess I'll go ahead and finish getting ready for work. Watching Wicked while I get dressed. Alright, talk to y'all later.
A door suddenly closes on its own, the light shuts off, and for those listening closely with headphones, some claim they can hear a faint voice saying, "Go away." And that's what really unsettled people, because if that voice is real, then whatever is there doesn't just exist, it has intent. Some viewers believe this might be a reaction to the blessing itself. There's a theory that if a space is only partially cleansed, whatever is there can simply move to the uncleansed areas, and in Isaac's case, that would be the sheds. And there's another layer to this. Isaac mentioned he wasn't allowed to cleanse the sheds, which raises a disturbing possibility. If something is tied to those sheds, and you cleanse only the house, then you're not removing it, you're cornering it, and according to many who study these cases, that can make whatever's there more aggressive. So now the question is, was that the grandfather making his presence known, or was it something else entirely? Something that doesn't want Isaac on that property anymore? You decide. In the following video, a man named Moses and his family were on their way home one evening when his daughter insisted they stop by a small playground near their house. It was a simple request, just a few minutes to play before heading in. Reluctantly, he agreed. The kid played, laughed, and enjoyed the quiet moment. But as time passed, something about the place began to feel off. The kind of uneasiness you can't explain, like being watched without seeing anyone. Then, just as they were about to leave, Moses saw it clearly. Someone was there, hiding. He turned his camera toward a nearby tree and started calling out, asking whoever was there to show themselves. And then, it did. Watch.
No te vas a golpear la resbaladilla cuando te bajes.
¿Me bajo?
Sí.
Ah. ¡Ey,
Nana! Mira, espérate. Nana, ven. Venga, se me mira, cheque, a ver, miren el árbol aquel. No, la neta, te lo juro que yo miraba algo, como que se asomaba. A ver, venga.
Ya me dio miedo.
No, es que yo miré algo, neta. No pasa nada. No, mi amor, no pasa nada, ven. No era nada, ven. ¿Qué?
¿Qué es?
No sé, no. Irga, sí se miró. ¡Hey! ¿Quién está ahí? Yo sí miré, alcancé a ver algo. Ya, ¿te checaste? ¿Viste? A ver. Oh, mira.
¿Qué es eso? Ay, no.
¡Hey! ¡Lujo! ¡Asómate!
Something peeks from behind the tree, not once, but twice, just enough to confirm that they weren't alone. At that moment, the family didn't wait to find out more. They quickly left, trying to brush it off with nervous laughter as they walked away. But after posting the video, the comments made things worse. People began sharing their own experiences about that same playground, especially after sunset. Some claimed they had seen figures standing near the trees, watching silently until noticed. Others described hearing footsteps behind them with no one there, or catching glimpses of something ducking out of sight the moment they turned to look. A few even said the place feels completely normal during the day, but changes the moment it starts getting dark, as if something else uses that space when no one is supposed to be there. So what was hiding behind that tree? For now, this one remains a mystery. In this next video, Chris and his wife are trying to finally settle an argument that's been going on for a long time. Both of them have been experiencing strange things in their home, but they don't agree on what's causing it. Chris leans toward logical explanations. Faulty wiring, loose fixtures, anything that can be explained. His wife, on the other hand, believes there's something else in the house, something they can't see but can definitely feel. So to settle it once and for all, they installed cameras everywhere. One night, while they were asleep, the cameras caught this. Watch. the stove turns on by itself, as if someone physically turned it on. Up until this point, many viewers believed the activity in their home might be tied to something harmless, possibly even a child's spirit, especially based on earlier clips where objects were lightly moved or knocked over. But after seeing this, people started to think differently, because this isn't just movement, this is dangerous, something that could have easily caused a fire. And that's why some believe this might not be something playful or harmless anymore, but something more aggressive, something with intent. And for a while, all the activity seemed to center around one place, the kitchen. Take a look at this. This doesn't look like it slipped, looks like something deliberately pushed it. According to Chris, this has become part of their daily routine. They go to bed with everything in place and wake up to the kitchen in complete disarray, cabinets disturbed, items out of place, forcing them to clean up every single morning. At this point, it's no longer about whether something is happening, it's about what is doing it and why the kitchen. What do you think? The following video is about Nate, a man who still hasn't been able to figure out what exactly he's dealing with or how to stop it. Over time, the activity in his house has gone from unsettling to genuinely alarming. He's been waking up with unexplained scratches on his body and hears footsteps moving through the house when no one else is there. One morning, after finishing his workout and preparing breakfast, he started hearing a clicking sound. At first, he assumed it was the TV, maybe even the heat vent, but after listening more closely, he realized the sound was coming from the kitchen. It sounded exactly like a stove burner clicking, the noise it makes right before igniting. Concerned it could be a gas issue, Nate rushed into the kitchen to check, and that's when this happened. Watch.
The pan is still on the stove, still warm. All the burners are off. But I kept hearing the clicking, like the burner was trying to come on. Like I said, I just finished cooking. I was sitting there drinking my coffee, and I was hearing. And it sounded like it was... Bro. Why with the knives? Why with the knives? Why? Why with the knives?
The clicking sound alone was disturbing, because this was the first time it had ever happened. But what really pushed viewers into panic was what followed, the knife. For the fact that this wasn't the first time, many believe this moment marks a shift in whatever Nate is dealing with. Paranormal researchers often say there's a difference between passive activity, noises, footsteps, shadows, and intentional aggression. Throwing objects, especially sharp ones, is widely considered a warning sign. And the most terrifying part is that Nate hasn't figured out what to do next. So, until more updates are given, this case remains completely unsolved. This next video was captured by a home security camera. Around 2 a.m., the homeowners received a motion alert and decided to check the footage, expecting maybe an animal or someone passing by. But what they saw left them shaken. Watch. The family replayed the clips several times, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. When they were unable to come up with a logical explanation, they shared the footage with a few of their neighbors, hoping someone might recognize the figure, or at least explain why it looked so disturbingly human. The video ended up spreading, and longtime residents of the area immediately knew who, or what, the figure resembled. According to locals, the apparition looked strikingly similar to a woman who died in a car accident near that very stretch of road back in 1948. For decades, people who've lived in the area have quietly shared stories about a woman seen walking late at night, appearing briefly, then vanishing without a sound. Some believe spirits tied to sudden deaths don't realize they're gone, repeating the same path night after night. Others think certain locations become imprinted with trauma, replaying fragments of the past like a broken recording. What makes this even more unsettling is that the family who captured this footage had only recently moved in. They had no knowledge of the area's history, no stories passed down, no warnings. So for now, all anyone can hope is that appearing and disappearing in the dead of night is all she ever does. Now, in this next clip, Kyle heads down to his basement early in the morning, and this time it's nothing like what he's dealt with before. In the past, it was children giggling, soft footsteps, the sound of something small moving around. But this morning, it's loud and violent. Watch.
Footsteps all freaking night. Who's knocking on my basement door?
When the noise stopped, Kyle opened the door and found no one there. At first, he went for the simplest explanation. Maybe someone heard him coming and ran, maybe it was a prank, or maybe there's a logical reason he just hasn't thought of yet. But that theory falls apart almost immediately. Outside, the ground is covered in fresh snow. If anyone had been down there, child or adult, there should have been footprints leading away from the house, but there were none. Whatever was by the door didn't leave the way a physical person would, or maybe it didn't need to leave in the first place, because it's in the house just changing how it manifests. Some believe this suggests the activity is evolving, because it once sounded playful, now it feels aggressive. For Kyle, this isn't just another strange moment to shrug off, It's another unanswered question in a situation that keeps escalating and becoming harder to explain. So until more updates are shared, this one remains unsolved.